What's up, tennis fans? Sleepy Picks here. These tournaments seem to be moving very fast. We are already at the quarterfinal stage of the Hamburg Open. Let's take a look at the draw. And here's a look at the draw. First matchup we're going to talk about is Kovacevic against Carabelli. Kova able to get through Felix Auger-Aliassime 4-6, 7-5, 6-4. The first set felt very close. You could tell that it was going to be a tricky match. Felix, again, not very comfortable moving, a great mover, but not very comfortable moving on the clay. He was able to squeak out that first set, kind of had a ridiculous set point where he was just on the run. Kova had him on the run. He was able to hit a passing shot to get the set. But Kova showed that he was just going to hang around the entire match, and that's exactly what he did, winning the next two sets and just challenging Felix over and over again with his offense, with his aggression. And for me, honestly, I felt like the Kova backhand really could have been exposed a little bit more, but Felix not able to do that, and a great win for Kova, getting a top 5 win. He's going to face Carabelli, who was able to defeat Frances Tiafoe. And first set here, Carabelli goes up a break. Then we see a little bit more aggression from Tiafoe. But once he got the break back to force the breaker, just too many drop shots for me from Frances Tiafoe here. And it felt like it was almost like a cop-out shot because he couldn't find a way to open the court up and hit through Carabelli. Like obviously on a hard court, Tiafoe is going to be able to just roll beforehand and put Carabelli on the defense and come into net and put the ball away. Here he wasn't able to do that, so they have 4, 5, 6 shot rallies, and then all of a sudden Tiafoe would bring a drop shot out, Carabelli would get it and then finish at the net. And that's what I felt like I saw over and over and over again. The one thing that I really liked from Tiafoe was in the second set, he recognized that he wasn't going to get the offense from the baseline. So he started to find ways to come into net. He was putting balls behind Carabelli, making the points a little bit quicker. But Carabelli at 5-2 down is able to just grind out a very tough win over Tiafoe. He wins 7-6, 7-6. That heavy topspin ball, playing those longer points. He was just really wearing down Frances Tiafoe, and an impressive win from him. Now, looking at this matchup here, head-to-head is 1-0 for Kovacevic. He got a retirement in Stockholm last year in the first round, winning 4-6, 7-5, 4-0, retired. That was an indoor hard court match. Kovacevic is coming in. He's 6-7 on the clay, 4-7 last year, 5-8 the year before. He hasn't had a winning season on the clay since 2019, where he was 2-1. Carabelli, on the other hand, we know he loves the clay, has never had a losing season, 15-8 this year, 27-14 last year, 52-24 the year before. And we know he really enjoys the clay. Able to get through Mychek in 3 sets and Tiafoe in straights. Kova coming through as a lucky loser, beating Zhang in the qualifiers in 3 sets. That's a pretty good win there over Zhang. Losing to Gia in 3 sets, but avenging that loss in the first round of this tournament, and then beating Felix in 3. Kova's coming off a straight set loss to Tabilo in the Valencia Challenger, and Carabelli is coming off a straight set loss to Kekmanovic in the Valencia Challenger. I'm not going to spend too much time here, guys. I really think this is going to be Carabelli. I'm not sold on Kovacevic on the clay yet, and I love everything that I saw from Carabelli, especially him just digging in down 5-2 in that second set against Tiafoe. I loved seeing that. He wasn't going to roll over or just say, you know what, I'll play the third set. He found a way to win that in straights, and that says a lot, of the guy that's willing to just fight and go forward. So I'm going to take Carabelli. I think he's going to win in straight sets. I think he's going to win relatively easily. Would have loved to have seen that Tiafoe Kovacevic rematch as well. Remember, we got that in Acapulco, I believe, and that was a match between Tiafoe and his former coach, who is now working with Kovacevic. So I like that dynamic. Definitely look out for that if that happens again this summer. But for now, guys, I'm going with Carabelli. He's going to advance in straight sets. Next match is Buse against Humbert, and no seeded players here on the left side of the draw. Buse able to get through Menchik with ease. Very impressive win, but the first set was a 6-0. It was like 25 minutes. It was so quick. Menchik wasn't able to really put a ball in the court, and I think once he went down the double break, he was like, okay, I guess I'll just focus on the second set because it just didn't even look like he was trying to end that set. Second set, we see Menchik kind of buckle in a little bit more, push himself a little bit more to see if he can make some balls, but still too many errors on the Menchik racket. Buse was throwing in his own amount of errors, but his offense was tremendous today. He was able to hit the ball past Menchik multiple times, able to come to net. He was just feeling extremely comfortable on the clay today. So a great 6-0, 6-3 win for Buse. He's going to take on Humbert, who was able to get through Kachanov today in a very tricky match. Both guys had a lot of chances in this match. Kachanov with too many errors, in my opinion, especially off that forehand side, the side that he has to be able to dictate on. Just wasn't able to do that today. And, you kind of look at Kachanov's loss and Tiafoe's loss, very similar, where these guys like to hit big, and when they're not able to use their weapons, like their forehands, to dictate on the court, they tend to not really know what to do. And Humbert, I liked, coming into net, he was using his offense himself, opening the court up on Kachanov, testing that Kachanov movement on the clay. So he's able to get through 6-3, 3-6, 7-6 to advance to the quarterfinals. Looking at this matchup here, guys, no head-to-head from these guys. This will be their first meeting here. We got Humbert coming in. He's 4-3 on the clay, 2-5 last year, 5-7 the year before. Ignacio Buse is 13-9 on the clay, 42-19, 44-24 the year before that. And Buse coming through the qualifiers, able to beat Niels McDonald, Hugo Gaston, and had a great win against Carabelli. And then Menchik, he hasn't dropped a set yet, so he's playing very strong tennis. Humbert, on the other hand, has had 2 3-setters and 7-6 in the third for each one. So he's been living on the edge. But at the same time, you can say, he's starting to get seasoned now. He's starting to figure out how to win these matches rather than someone who's kind of been just cruising along. Humbert's coming off that tough loss to Prismic, 6-1, 7-5, and you remember that first set went by in a flash for Prismic. He just came out roping the ball, and then Humbert able to buckle in a little bit, start to use his volleys a little bit more to pressure Prismic there, but not enough. He loses in straight sets. And Buse, on the other hand, lost in 3 sets to Tiafoe in Rome. Guys, I'm not going to waste much time on this one either. I love Buse. I've told you, for me, this tournament means a lot to him. It's a 500 level tournament. I mean, this is a huge opportunity. You look at the guys on the left side of this draw: Kovacevic, Carabelli, Buse, Humbert. One of those guys is going to be in a final of a 500. That means a lot. All 4 of these guys are going to play their hearts out tomorrow to get the wins. I'm going with Buse to advance here. I think it's going to be straight sets. I like what I've seen from Buse more on the clay than I have from Humbert. So give me Buse to advance in straights. And our next match is definitely going to be a fun one. We have Darderi against Minaur. Darderi able to get through Yannick Hampman, and this was definitely a match that I feel like we can now talk about Darderi in terms of pre-Rome Darderi and post-Rome Darderi, because post-Rome Darderi is looking extremely confident. He's playing extremely aggressive. This was the first set that I feel like pre-Rome he was losing for sure, and he probably was going to lose this match in 3. But he found ways to win, had Hampman with multiple set points, and Darderi able to just dig this set out to win 7-6. He then pressures the Hampman serve. Hampman was holding at love most of the games in the second set, and then at 5-4, he's serving to stay in it. Very, very tough game there. At 30-all, Hampman comes up with a very clutch drop shot, holds for 5-all, and then at 6-5, Darderi again puts the pressure on him and is able to get that break to win 7-5. I mean, impressive stuff for me from Darderi. This guy, we talked about a couple weeks ago, all he could do was find different ways to win, and now he's figuring out ways to, find different ways to lose. And now he's figuring out ways to win. And this, to me, just in time for the French Open. Now he's got a top 10 test here against Alex de Minaur. de Minaur able to get through Davidovich Fokina. And the first set, Fokina came out, and, I'm not really sure what the idea was. He was testing the speed of de Minaur, and so many drop shots, and de Minaur was getting to them with ease and putting the ball away. It was a very interesting strategy. Then we see Fokina start to rally from the baseline against de Minaur, which we've seen multiple players do to success, and Fokina was able to find that success. Redirecting the ball, playing aggressive. We saw that forehand down the line multiple times in that second set. He's able to take the second set 6-4, but and then de Minaur a little bit too strong, able to get the break and win 6-4 in the third. Just a really nice match there for de Minaur. He's starting to build his confidence here on the clay, and now we're going to have a true test for both of these guys here. Head-to-head here is they've never met before. We got Darderi coming in. He's 16-7 on the clay, 30-11 last year, 34-15 the year before. He's had wins over Burchaga and Hanfman in straight sets. de Minaur, on the other hand, he's 5-4 on the clay this year, 10-5 last year, 10-5 the year before. And he's gotten a 3-set win over Cerundolo, a 3-set win over Fokina. de Minaur's coming off a 3-match losing streak, losing to Medjedovic in Barcelona, Hadar in Madrid, and Arnaldi in Rome. And now he's able to get a couple of wins under his belt, and he's going to face Darderi, who was red hot in Rome, making it all the way out to the semifinals, beating Hadar, beating Zverev, beating Tommy Paul, and losing to Casper Ruud, where he just ran out of energy there. This match, for me, I'm really curious to see how the offense of Darderi matches up with de Minaur. I kind of feel like de Minaur is going to be able to wear him down. I mean, even watching that Hanfman match, you could see Darderi was physically not 100%. So I'm going to take de Minaur here, but in my opinion, if we had a fully rested Darderi, I'm picking Darderi all day now. But right now, just considering the fact that we don't know where the tank is right now for Darderi, I think it's probably at 50%. And de Minaur is just such a tough customer. He's going to get a lot of balls back. He's going to make you play a ton of long points. Hanfman today, a lot of the points were quick. They did play like a lot of strong, aggressive points, but a lot of them ended with errors from Hanfman. de Minaur's not going to give you that many errors. I'm going to go de Minaur to advance here in 3 sets. Final match is Tommy Paul against Altmaier. This match is definitely going to be an interesting one. Tommy Paul able to survive a 2-day match, 6-7, 7-6, 7-6 against Etcheverry, and he saved a handful of match points. I think Etcheverry even had match points in the second set as well, but I can't remember. He had a ton in the third set, and this is a really this is going to be a mental hurdle, I think, for Etcheverry to now beat Tommy Paul, because it's kind of like, if you weren't able to do it here, when are you going to do it? This was the perfect opportunity for Etcheverry, and Tommy Paul multiple times on match points, and you guys know I've been kind of critical of this. The serve and volley on the big points, that is so gutsy to pull off, because it's got to be a great serve. And there were a couple where, he was on the stretch hitting a volley. But a great win for Tommy Paul nonetheless. He advances to play Altmaier. Altmaier able to get a win over Ben Shelton a couple of days ago. And guys, we talked about this match. I said I was so surprised to see Shelton at minus 300 against Altmaier. I get it. Altmaier's not a household name, but he has been playing some very good tennis. I thought this match was going to be close, and it certainly was. Honestly, though, Ben should have won this in straights. Up a set and a break, serving for the match in the second set, and then everything falls apart. Altmaier able to win that second set. He's playing good aggression, relying on the errors of Ben, and Ben, again, suffering the similar fates that we saw of Khachanov and Tiafoe, not really able to feel that power to open up the court with the power. And just a great win for Altmaier overall, 4-6, 7-6, 6-4. And looking at this head-to-head here between these two players, it is 1-0 for Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul able to play him in 2023 in Tokyo. That's outdoor hard court. And he won 3-6, 6-1, 6-3. Altmaier's coming in. He's 11-9 on the clay, 13-8 last year, 19-20 the year before. Tommy Paul coming in. He's 8-2 on the clay, 12-4 last year, 10-4 the year before. And Tommy Paul hasn't had a losing season on the clay since 2023. Tommy Paul with a win over Ethan Quinn and then a 3-set win over Echeverry. He's coming off a 3-set loss to Darderi. And remember, that was the match in Rome where he was up a set and a break against Darderi. Wasn't able to close it out. And Darderi wins that and makes it all the way to the semifinals. Altmaier coming off a 3-set loss to Lajovic in the Valencia Challenger, and that was the match that kind of gave me a little bit of pause here, whether Altmaier would be able to pull off this match against Shelton, but he was able to. This is a really hard matchup for me, guys, just because I really question Tommy Paul's willingness to stay in this draw. And I think his focus is on just getting a few more clay matches under his belt. He's 8-2, but remember, 4 of those matches were in Houston. So I think he wanted to get another European tournament on the clay here before going over to the French, because he had a loss in Madrid to Taranti, beat Vukic, lost to Darderi. If he had made it deeper, I don't even know if he would be here. But it's so tough because, like, you know, I don't know if Altmaier can actually do this here to get through a match like this. But I'm gonna go with Altmaier to win this match. I love the aggression that I'm seeing from him. I love the way he's hitting that backhand. What do we talk about too with that? His ability to go with the backhand down the line or hit the backhand aggressively off that Shelton kick serve, because Shelton loves to come in, off the Shelton slice serve, the wide ad serve, because Shelton loves coming in off that serve on a serve and volley, and Altmaier was able to neutralize that pretty well, especially in that third set. So I'm going to take Altmaier. I think he's going to advance in 3 sets. And here's a look at the draw with our quarterfinal picks. Only one seed surviving, and there will be only one seed surviving with Darderi and de Minaur playing each other. Picking a winner for this, I feel like de Minaur is going to be able to take this one, and I think that's a very good match for a very good tournament for him to, one, be able to get a clay court tournament win, but two, be able to do it on the 500 level stage. I know the competition here isn't as high as, you know, we would expect maybe from another 500 level. Remember, we did see Barcelona and Munich. Those draws were stacked, but still would be a great win for de Minaur going into the French Open. He's also a tank. You know, he's going to be able to get through a lot of those. Even if it's 3 out of 5 sets, he'll be able to fight through a lot of those matches. I like Buse to make it out to the finals, so I think that would be really awesome. It would be awesome to see if Buse could win it. I'm not sure if he's ready to take a win over Alex de Minaur, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Post your picks in the comments. And here's a look at our round of 16 records. 5-3, same as Geneva. Pretty good. We're staying consistent. Let's see if we can do a little bit better in the quarters. And as always, guys, thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share your picks in the comments. Share the video. We will have videos out every single day recapping the matches that happen and looking at the matches to come. We will also have a French Open draw reaction video out tomorrow, so definitely look out for that. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.